We're going to get started with our interview now. We have Senator Claire Celsi. She's up for re-election this year. She has a primary in June. And Claire's, just want to mention, with our other interviews over the last week here, Claire's a member. Claire's been a member of our coalition since year one. So we really do appreciate that. Claire's also participated in multiple events and meetings over these last 3 years, which we also appreciate too. And with that, Claire, I'm going to give the floor to you, and maybe you can describe your district a little bit too. Sure. So the floor is yours for the next 6 minutes, Claire.
Thank you very much. I probably won't need 6 minutes, but I will do my best to fill it up. Okay. So, just to tell you a little bit about myself, I'm originally from the south side of Des Moines, grew up here in the metro my whole life, went to school at Catholic schools my whole life, and then to Drake for college. So been a Des Moines resident, West Des Moines resident my whole life. And my family mostly lives right around this area. So I'm a real home girl. I'm from here. I'm proud of being from here. I love it. And really proud to be a member of the Unity Coalition, I must say. It makes my heart feel good because you guys are doing great things with great people. And I don't know, I just love the people, and I really appreciate this opportunity, Mitch. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So my district changed quite a bit in 2022 when redistricting happened. My district used to be half Des Moines, half West Des Moines, almost evenly split. Then during the 2022 redistricting, it turned into Clive, Windsor Heights, and West Des Moines, kind of shifted from, east-west to straight up north. So it's mostly suburban now. Then I'm in the West Des Moines Community School District, which is really, really important to know, because since school politics are so prevalent in our politics right now, I really feel like that's important to know, is that I have the experience with both the Des Moines public school system and a suburban district, which is West Des Moines Community Schools. So it really helps me understand education issues a lot better. Let's see, I have about 60,000 people in my district. That's per Senate district. We all have about 60,000 people. It's very, very heavily Democratic. And I have to say, I have some of the best constituents. They're smart people, they're educated, and they're very bright. They challenge me every day, and I mean that in the very best way. They're extremely thoughtful and kind people, and I'm just very privileged to be able to serve them. I feel like I'm just hitting my stride as a senator after being there for about 5 years. And I really, really want the opportunity to continue to serve, because I think I'm good at it. I think the people like me. I think I just want an opportunity to go back to the Iowa Senate and do good things. And I'm really looking forward to that. And being a part of the Unity Coalition is really a part of who I am as a senator as well. I value diversity. I value voices that I may not hear every day up at the Senate. So it means a lot to me to belong to a group like this. So not only can I meet and be involved with people, diverse people from all over the state, but I can have their perspective with me as I go up to the Capitol, because my own district tends to be very affluent and mostly white. So I do value that diverse perspective, which is one of the main reasons that I joined the Unity Coalition and want to stay involved with it, is because I get so much out of it.
Claire, do you want to say anything else before we go to Patrick with questions?
Nope.
Okay. Well, we're going to give the floor to Patrick. Patrick's the chair of our election endorsement committee. Patrick will ask 2 or 3 questions, and if time permits, 3. And Patrick, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mitch. And thank you, Claire, for joining us today. Really
Hi,
appreciate you
Patrick.
having
I'm
you.
so sorry that I burned you guys the last time and you couldn't, or I couldn't get on the Zoom. It was very embarrassing, but I know it was a big waste of time for you guys. So I just want to sincerely apologize for that.
First, appreciate your apology. So you were given a questionnaire and you answered the questions. And now we just have a few clarifying questions for you.
Sure.
So first question is question 1A of the education section, which asks what the legislature can do to attract and retain educators. You indicated that it can stop passing bills that demonize teachers and instead pass bills that give teachers good raises every year with COLA increases. So please first outline which bills you oppose and why. And then second, we'd be interested in knowing your thoughts on what bills the legislature can pass other than those related to salary that would attract and retain educators.
Okay. Which question was that?
Question 1A of the
Oh, yeah.
education section.
Okay. Yeah. And could you repeat your question? I'm sorry, Patrick.
No worries. Yeah. So the questioner asked what the legislature can do to attract and retain educators, and you said that it can stop passing bills that demonize teachers, and that it can instead pass bills that give teachers good raises every year with COLA increases. So now the question, the follow-up question is, we'd like you to outline which bills you oppose and why, and then secondly, we'd be interested in knowing your thoughts on what bills the legislature can pass other than those that are related to salary that would attract and retain educators.
Okay, well, I think probably the most damaging bill that we should not have passed was, of course, the voucher bill, because it is going to drain billions of dollars out of the Iowa Treasury. And some people say that that's not coming directly out of education, but it really all comes out of one big pot of money. So you can say that, but it's really not true. It's going to come from that big pot of money. So whenever you drain out money for that, for vouchers, it's just another school, just another teacher, just another program that will be affected by that money not being available. So it's really a resources game with public education. We need to fully fund the resources to make sure that it's there for the kids and the teachers when they need it. And every time you let any of that drain out, it is definitely affecting everything. I just found out they passed the AEA bill in the Iowa House this afternoon, which is kind of a different kind of draining of resources, but this is a draining of resources that's really going to affect our special ed kids by not necessarily defunding them like vouchers will, but it'll shuffle the deck as far as the resources that are available as far as specialists that can deal with kids with special needs. So we're scrambling everything in that whole program. And my biggest fear is that those very highly educated people like speech pathologists, occupational therapists, folks like that, that have these very advanced degrees and training to be able to deal with kids, which is why the AEAs are so successful to begin with. Once they see that this system has been scrambled and dismantled, they will no longer trust that system with their career, and they will leave the state once their opportunity is over. And that is my biggest fear. So what I'm saying is we should leave the AEAs, and it's not over yet. It still has to pass the Senate. So I'm hoping beyond hope that they will not do anything with it this year and just leave it alone. But, you know, anytime you mess with a system that is working so well, you're going to lose teachers and you're going to miss students and people are going to fall through the cracks. So this really will affect a lot of people. We're talking thousands of people. So those two bills I wish would just go away and never have existed in the first place. I know that's kind of wishful thinking, but that's truly what I wish would happen.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Next question. So question 3 of the education section asks what role, if any, the legislature and the governor should have in determining curriculum, reading, and school library materials. You stated that Iowa should have basic statewide Iowa core standards with local district flexibility.
Yes.
So now we'd like you to expand on, one, what you mean by this,
Mhm.
2, how the statewide core standards would be developed. And 3, how much and what type of flexibility the local districts should have.
Well, I would describe what we have now in the West Des Moines Public Schools as what we should have statewide. So you get a really robust core set of principles that every child should know. So for example, by age, 16, when they're in school, they should have basic proficiency in math, reading, English, all the subjects that are important. And then, by that age, they'll probably be able to take some electives in their curriculum that are approved by the school district, by the school board, that are educational, yet maybe taking them down a little bit of a different path. And I'll give you an example. West Des Moines Valley has a wonderful trade school center in one of their schools that would teach them a trade while they're still in high school. So when they graduate from high school, they might even be able to go in directly into the trades straight from school, so that they have an opportunity to make a living right after they graduate from high school. So in other words, give the kids their basic set of core subjects that they have to know, and those are pretty standardized across the state, because we want our kids to be able to know basic American history, for example, basic math, basic reading, basic things that are going to get them through the rest of their life as a adult. Then we want them to be thinking about their career in the back of their mind. What do I want to do? What am I interested in? And then the electives in their curriculum would be filled in as optional, but then would also give them some direction in their career. That's kind of what I mean by that.
Okay, thank you very much. Mitch, can you tell us how much time we're looking at?
Yes, we're looking at about 3.5 minutes.
Okay, good. We have time for another question then. So question 1 of the immigration section this time asks what the state legislature should do to again make sure Iowa, or to again make Iowa a welcoming state to immigrants and refugees. You answered that Iowa needs a robust guest worker program. So in addition to a guest worker program, what else can Iowa pass going forward? And also, what will you do to push back on the anti-immigration legislation that we're seeing now?
Well, I'll answer that second question first. I just voted against E-Verify this last week. So E-Verify, the E-Verify bill, the way it was presented to the legislature was extremely racist. In other words, they really equate immigrants with, the Molly Tibbetts case was brought up again. They brought up, they equate Republicans, I'm talking about, relate the Molly Tibbetts case where she was raped and murdered to immigrants. So that's really awful. Number one, we need to stop doing that. I can't stop the Republicans from doing that, but I can certainly vote against all their nonsense bills. E-Verify has been brought up. This is the 6th legislative session in a row that it's been brought up. So it's obvious that we had to get this absolutely horribly conservative, awful legislature that we have now in here to pass this, and that dog whistle racist things had to be used to pass this bill, which is horrible. One thing that we really need more of is ELL, which is English language learners in our public schools. We only have about maybe 1/16 of the funding that we need for that program. So in order to be able to welcome our immigrant kids into our schools and to have our teachers be trained, we need a really, really robust ELL program with millions more in funding so that we can really teach kids what they need to know in order to be good citizens, good parents, good workers, whatever they choose to do with their life. So that's one example of how we are just dropping the ball here in Iowa. We're not doing nearly enough for our kids or our parents who need to learn English as well.
Claire, Patrick, we have 1 minute remaining. So you can give some closing thoughts, I think, Claire, if you'd like to, over the next 60 seconds here.
Okay. Thank you very much again for the opportunity. I'm very embarrassed that I was not able to get on to the Zoom the other night. It was seriously, as for someone who gets on Zoom all day long, it's really embarrassing for me. So I apologize again for the time that was lost during that botched meeting on my part. So anyway, I just want to tell you again how excited I am to be able to fill out my questionnaire and go through an interview with the Unity Coalition. Again, I just find it's very much of an honor to belong to this group. I get far more out of it than I have ever given. So I'm just very grateful for your time, and absolutely cannot wait to do more work with you guys. I think you're a terrific group. So that's all I have to say at this point.